Hey, it's Angela Walters. I'm your quilting Houdini, and I'm going to show you magic tricks to make your quilting mistakes disappear. Okay, well, maybe not magic tricks, but these are ways to hide those unintentional customizations that'll make your quilting look a lot better. Okay, so trick number one is use a matching thread color. A thread color that matches your quilt top will cover a multitude of quilting sins. On this teal fabric with that teal thread, it doesn't matter what I quilt because it's going to blend in anyway. Even if you think you can notice it when your face is 2 inches away from it, I promise, as you keep quilting and that whole thing is done, all you're gonna see is the overall texture. Tip number two is use echoing. So let's say you're quilting with a contrasting thread and you make a mistake, such as this oops. Sure, that doesn't match the swirls, it's not exactly fitting in the rest, but here's the thing about quilting, when you keep putting more stuff around it by echoing, it's just gonna make it go away. The trick is when echoing, I wanna keep the spacing the same, and that helps give me that overall texture. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, so maybe this is a magic trick that won't get you into Caesar's Palace, but as I start filling around it, it starts to blend in. Now you know where it is because you've seen it, and I'm using a contrasting thread. But if I were using a matching thread color and doing this over the whole quilt, there's no way you'd be able to see that. I like to say that people will notice a gap in the quilting before they notice an error. So as long as we fill everything in, it's gonna look great. Now I need to think of tip number three. Do it again, because once is a mistake, but twice is a design choice. So if you're quilting along and you make a little error, just make it again and give it an artistic reasoning. Let me show you what I mean. So let's pretend you're going to quilt a swirl hook, a design that curls in on itself, goes out to a hook and echoes back. A beautiful design, but you know what happens. The first one's easy to quilt, it's the second one that gives you trouble as you accidentally go off in the opposite direction. Well, if that happens, instead of ripping it out, well, just embrace it. Say it's a modern variation of the swirl hook, and just keep on doing it. Or let's say you're doing some wavy lines and you accidentally go off course. Well, just embrace it, do it again, and continue doing it. The idea is if it looks intentional, it's gonna look fine. Here's the trick with this though. If you make it intentional, just go ahead and start thinking of artistic words that you can use. Like, I love the juxtaposition of the jagged edge next to the smooth wavy line. Or, it really does look organic, don't you think? Okay, my last little tip is if you make a mistake and you absolutely cannot live with it, then go ahead and rip it out. It's one thing to take out a mistake because it messes up the whole overall flow of the design. It's a completely different thing to take out a mistake because it doesn't look exactly perfect. Two different things. So if you're quilting along and you're not sure whether you should rip it out, chances are you should keep on going because you'll never become a better quilter by taking it out. And remember, when you're done, you'll have a finished quilt, and a finished quilt is always better than a perfect quilt top. Now, of course, I am the expert of my opinion only. I'd love to hear what you think. How do you hide your quilting unintentional customizations? Be sure to leave those in the comments below. Happy quilting!